Hello guys, how's it going? My name is Dallar, and in this video we're going to be talking about Warfronts, which is the new World PvP aspect that we'll be getting in BFA, a new way to play World PvP, the rewards, and some people are saying that maybe Warfronts are too rewarding and are forced onto players. If you're somebody who PvPs, if you're somebody who knows anything about Warfronts, you already see the ridiculousness of it. But, I mean, we can still poke fun of it, and what we can do is ask you guys, what do you think about Warfronts? Do you think they're too rewarding? Before we go into that, we need to first take a look at the forum posts, see what they're trying to say. In this video, I kind of just want to take what other people are saying and try to give you guys my thoughts on what they say. So Warfronts have been amazing. I gotta be honest, I am gonna be biased. I love them. I absolutely love them. I love being able to go out into the world, complete world quests, or just simply go around trying to gang the other faction. With so many changes they did for World PvP to try to balance it out and make it more fun, being that it is still the beta. The beta is a beta is a beta. It's gonna be broken, it's gonna be busted, it's gonna be not functional, and it's gonna be overpowered. Some classes are simply just going to hit you and one-shot you, or hit you a little bit too hard, or not enough. So there is gonna be imbalances. But overall, I have to say the experience generally is a good one. They've done a lot of things to make it a bit more interesting to do World PvP. First of all, there is extra rewards for it. While enabling World PvP while you are leveling, you gain 15% more experience, and after you get to max level, you get extra rewards depending on what kind of world quests you decide to engage in. Sometimes these things can be more rep, maybe more Azeroth power, maybe higher upgrades on gear, because you're putting yourself out in the world, you're putting a target on your back, so there needs to be some kind of, I guess, a risk incentive. Also, Blizzard knows that some people will just go and engage in World PvP, which doesn't give you experience. So if you're somebody who's leveling, the extra XP is helping you to offset the fact that you'll be engaging against other PvPers. So now that we got the basics out of the way, let's take a look at the forums of Warmode. As it stands, the benefits from turning on Warmode, primarily access to the PvP talents for PvE, are too strong. This will effectively force people with no interest in World PvP into having it on. Yes, some PvP talents are really strong, and when used out in the world, it can give you a different type of gameplay. Some talents are so strong they will actually take off enemies' percentage worth of health. Imagine a fire mage hitting a world boss with greater pyroblast, which takes off about 35% of their health every single cast. There's about only 4 casts and the boss is dead. A world boss, mind you. So yes, it is gonna offer different types of gameplay. But I feel like there are a few reasons why Blizzard enables them whenever you enable War Mode. One, I feel like it has to be some kind of a systems choice. It's a systems issue, and maybe there's a reason due to hardware or software. I feel like when you're out in Legion, when I engage with somebody in PvP, my talents get turned on, but I also get some kind of a FPS stutter, maybe sometimes a little bit of lag. I might be the only one who gets these kind of experiences, but I've experienced something like this before. Blizzard could probably just have them online all the time once you enter and once you turn on World PvP, once you turn on War Mode, just to help hardware and software kind of communicate together for systems worth of sake. Second, when you are PvPing, when you're in BGs and arenas, usually you have access to all of your talents. So I guess it makes sense to have access to all your talents. You're going to be engaging with players that are PvPing regardless. And if you do decide you just want to have some World PvP or World PvP experience with honor talents, you can make your character ultimately stronger, but at a risk reward. You're putting a target on your back. So I feel like the offsets to it are you get an awesome talents, but now you can be PvPable. You get extra bonuses, but now you can be attacked. I feel like it offsets as it is. And in a way, Blizzard want to give PvPers a different kind of gameplay. PvPers always run around with honor talents, so I guess for PvPers, this would be very familiar, being able to use honor talents out in the world. Go try it out and then let me know how overly rewarding it is when you have to run back to your corpse 3 times in a row because the opposite faction is out to get you. That 50% XP bonus isn't going to be a huge gain when the quests take longer to complete. Well, this is great because the War Mode has access for you to turn it on or off in your capital city. If you're on the Horde side, go to Armory, turn on or off War Mode. If you want to engage it, turn it on. Don't want to engage it, just turn it off, and then you won't be attacked by any other players whatsoever. Same thing for Alliance. Stormwind is your hub. Go to Stormwind and turn on or off your War Mode if you just simply don't want to engage with the members of the opposite faction in PvP. This is something that you can't choose to do. On top of it, if you are getting ganked by multiple people, I think this will force players to want to group up with others and play together. Maybe you want to get together with buddies and try to fight off the horde, fight off alliance, and that's how big world PvP scenarios get made. I think it'll be awesome. I think it'll bring back what World PvP really needs, which is massive group gameplay. You gotta make some friends, you gotta make some buddies, you gotta use the LFG system, you gotta ask for help. There'll be plenty of people that want to help you. Some people will just unite with you. Maybe they want to quest together. I think it all will help. That'll bring back a social aspect into the game, which I don't think can be bad in any case whatsoever. For me, my only issue is the fact that Warmode apparently grants 10% extra rep. This should not be the case. Factions it gives bonuses to are strictly PvE. So giving people with war mode on bonus undermines the entire point of the system. Actually puts people PvEing at a disadvantage to something that's strictly PvP. Come on, man, are you kidding me? I am a PvPer, yes, but even I want to get my pathfinding. I'm gonna need to grind that rep as well. Just because I like to run dungeons and arenas back to back to back doesn't mean I don't need my rep. On top of it, I think Legion, as an expansion, was really good on paper for PvP, but with the lack of things to do besides BGs and arenas, and besides brawls, there really wasn't much to it. I felt that we don't have different gear, we just have recolors of PvE. Okay, so there's no real big need to get the gear. There is the whole prestige thing, but it gives you mounts that are recolors, so that really drops off fairly quickly. Gear, recolors, mounts, recolors, AP grind, not efficient, so I started taking a look at other things. I did the storyline for Legion, Suramar, Broken Shore, everything you could have thought of. I started doing world quests. I started learning how to gear my character better because PvP gear gave me random ass stats and I was starting to actually gear my character. I started becoming more of a rounded player. I started doing raids, that raids led me to mythic raids. Mythic raids led me to mythic dungeons to fill out my gear. So now I started doing so many other aspects of PvE. I feel like a lot of players would have had similar experience. If all I did is just PvP and I decided just for whatever reason to just go celibate from PvE, not do any PvE content whatsoever, I honestly probably would have quit. Thank God there was so much great PvE in Legion. And I feel like overall it made me more of a rounded player. So this actually makes me want to do PvP even more. Get that rep faster. It's not like it's something you get more, and you don't have to make it primarily a PvE issue. PvPers are people too. We also want our rep, we also want to get experience, we also want to get the goodies that you can get. Because there can be even rep gear, not just flying, but even rep gear that we can use in PvP, because gear is gear. I mean, does it make sense? Some Buck says the idiots supporting the current war mode are the ones on unbalanced servers, where the faction outnumbers either 2-3 to 1. Which is a good point. I know a lot of people are saying, okay, what if we get into a server where we just overpowered and the other faction just gets a full reign? If you were to play on Illidan US, that's a primarily horde server. So you would have easy train to just be able to have war mode on at all times. Except for one thing. When you turn on war mode, every server, first of all in BFA, is going to be a PvE server by default. When you turn on war mode, you enable PvP and get sharded to a PvP realm. And I would think that Blizzard would have the opportunity, because you are sharded to a PvP realm where other PvPers are PvPing. Blizzard will be able to use this in order to balance out the factions so you don't have too many alliance, too many horde on one side or really the other. You can balance out, let's say too many alliance on the server, okay, let's tone the alliance a little bit back. Too many horde, let's tone the horde a little back, or at least let's add more alliance that are joining war mode. Let's add more horde in order to balance about, you know what I mean? Maybe open up a different server if there's too many people on the server to open up for lag. So I think this is actually a great opportunity to balance out world. When you're stuck in a server, you have to pay money or level a whole new character just to get off of that server. And finding a server that's completely balanced is difficult, as most servers become very much homogenized, because it just makes it that much easier. The guys that are on the losing end just gets driven out, or maybe based on expansion, based on changes. Some people might want to go the other faction for better racials, or the other faction for better PvP content, or just more people to PvP with. You know how these things go. They kind of sway from side to side. And I feel like this is an opportunity to fix that without having to have people pay 25 bucks just to transfer off of a server. Looks like people are being forced to use this, just like they are forced to use Master Loot till BFA, lol. Taking a second look at that comment, that might have been not a negative comment. I think it's just the whole idea, oh, you're forced to use Master Loot, huh? You wait until you're forced to use Personal, and that whole shindig. But they do bring up a good point about people using and throwing around the word forced. You're not forced. You're giving your consent. in the least sexual ways that I can think of given consent. You are just saying, hey, hit me. Hit me as hard as you humanly can. Hit me as hard as possible. It adds risk and reward to a game. I feel like World of Warcraft used to have aspects in previous expansions where there was a little more risk to reward, and PvP never really had anything like this. It was really just the Wild West without any incentives. It's just go world PvP, and it's something you wanted to do. It's something you had to do back in vanilla because you didn't have BGs, and for the longest time people just wanted it because it was fun. But eventually you do have to add incentives, and I kind of like that Blizzard is making a mini game out of world PvP as almost like its own mode. It's almost like its own gameplay mode. You can be out in the world questing. You could choose to quest a little bit slower without any potential for PvP. But if you choose to live on the edge, if you decide that you want to be one of those people that thinks, hey, I like it rough, I like it exciting, I like it dangerous, it gives you more incentive. Risk and reward. The risk is that you can be attacked by opposite members of your faction. Reward is extra experience, extra rep, extra whatever bonuses you get. And I feel like it's awesome. It's very much fulfilling to be able to have all this extra reward and then being able to take up the risk, be able to be attacked by the enemy faction and be able to fight him back, or get a group of players together to fight him back, and now you're all defending your zone. Each faction has a zone to them, so on your server, or if you choose Warmode, there'll be other people on your island, whether you're on Alliance Island or Horde Island, that will probably come to your rescue. More people that will want to join. There's a lot of people that want a PvP, which makes the greatness that is World PvP, getting as many people involved as possible. And if you're somebody who never wanted to World PvP or never even thought about PvPing, this could be kind of like a gateway for you. There's the incentive. You get a little bit extra rep, you get a little bit extra experience. Why not do it? Why not try it? Why not try it out and see if you can get better at it? Of course, you're going to come in, probably the first thing you're going to do is trinket a sap by a rogue, but eventually you will learn, and eventually you'll get better, and then it'll get really, really fun. I feel like it's a way to get more people involved, and why shouldn't we want to get more people involved in world PvP? The more people are playing it, the more people enjoying PvP, the better. That means more people for us to arena with, BG with, and overall I feel like it's just healthy for the game. So we don't have only people that are into World of Warcraft PvP being the only ones that are into, because it felt like PvP just was kind of not dwindling, but definitely didn't have the care for it. I personally love Warmode. I think they're perfect and enough incentive for people to try. But what are your thoughts? Leave me in the comments below. Likes, subscribes, hit the notification bell are all very much appreciated. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see all of you in another video.